and welcome back to Build Propulsion Lab at Devoxx UK, coming to live from London. My next guest is Ante. Welcome.
Thank you.
And so Ante, let's talk about a very important topic in our industry and specifically, and that's accessibility. First of all, why are you the one that we should talk to about accessibility?
So I'm actually one of the developers who actually has a very unique aspect in it. So I'm actually hearing impaired myself, and I'm actually 55% deaf in both ears. So what I brought to Devoxx UK with my talk is actually a accessibility topic that is also from my own experience, because it can give quite unique note to any talk when you can actually hear how it is for someone who's actually dealing with that.
That's exactly what I wanted to say. It's speaking like hearing it from you is the right perspective.
Yes.
Okay, so how are we doing on accessibility?
How are we doing with accessibility? Well, I would say it depends. So it can be that it's going really well. You know that some companies are doing really good, like Google with YouTube, because they have automatic captions. We also have Microsoft, who did an amazing job with Microsoft Teams, and they're companies and they're always trying to do their best. But we need to be there to educate. We need to be there to share our knowledge, to show how we can do something in the best way. And I think that's what is important. And another thing is AI, because I think AI here can be a game changer, especially for hearing impaired accessibility, which is, let's say, not so cut and dry. Like you don't have like this, that you have like much more flexible variety of rules, and you need to see according to situation.
This is interesting. So, how do I get started? Let's say I have a product, I have a company, I have a website. I want to do better. How do I get started?
How do I get started? First thing would be to get information, to get educated. Because if you get insights about how is something doing, then you can actually know where you can start. The next thing will be to see what I can do to make it better for everyone. Because what is important, in my opinion, is empathy. We need to be empathetic. We shouldn't follow the exact rules like we have first one, second one, third one. We should actually see what makes it better for our customers, because when we build like with accessibility in mind, we actually make it better for everyone, and that's also what VW3C says about all kinds of aspects. I would start from that. The next step would be basically to check how can we organize the content better, how can we make information easily accessible, how can we make text easier to read. My suggestion is always plain English, and also using images of the captions, any kind of captions, and even icons that can make something a little bit more straightforward and more understanding.
That makes sense. And you mentioned how AI can help. And obviously, I can think about automatic captions as one of the implementations of AI. What else?
Well, AI is a big factor in my opinion. What is really good is, for example, what I learned to do with the AI is I can take a transcript. In some transcripts, you usually will have some sort of nonsense, because it usually is not about the general language. But you can actually tell the AI, for example, I don't know, in a Gen AI, like a glossary. I usually have this, and that. I can tell it. If something doesn't make sense about that topic, try to connect it to the topic from glossary. Try to see what could sound similar and replace it with that word. And when I saw this with the transcript, I realized that it can actually make it really accurately. So if we make content better, if we, can use AI to actually prop up whatever we have, I think we can do better.
It makes sense. So you say, okay, the first step was like the generate transcripts,
Yeah.
which we already have, and it's okay, but it's not great. But we also can do better by connecting domain-specific knowledge and then improving by providing more context, improving the transcript. And it's very relevant for us in IT because the general transcripts are usually not that great.
Yes, I agree. And I mean, apart from what we can do in technical sense, I think the important thing is that we can do media better. So make captions, make audio clear and understandable, do not have any background noise, be aware of how you write content because it should be written to be easy to read, easy to understand, and easy to translate. And also try to organize the content better. And what's also important is not everyone will be able to hear, because if you offer only video calls and audio calls, then they cannot really communicate with you. We have to think about the customers. If we can have multiple ways of communication, or for example, email or something like that, we already have achieved a lot because we are actually making sure that we are reaching the entire world.
And this is very interesting because usually people will say, okay, they only provide chat and it's a chatbot. I don't want to interact with them. I wish they had a real human to talk to. But you're providing here a unique perspective that sometimes talking to someone is actually not better.
Yes.
And this is very interesting because usually for the most of us it will be the other way around, right?
Yes. I mean, it depends on what disability the person has.
Absolutely.
If someone has, let's say, some other impairment, for example, especially speech impairments, you can then use even AI, for example, to actually, for example, there are companies who can do that they can actually improve your voice based on impairment, for example. Usually, the studies have shown that about 75%, everything does sound 75% better when people with speech impairment actually whisper. So if we can take that whisper, we can do very powerful things sometimes. We can actually improve the voice.
Wow,
even.
wow. So the way to do it is like tell people to whisper and then amplify it with AI. And this is...
Yeah, for example, for
this
speech
is so
impairment,
cool.
yes.
This is so cool.
Yeah, there was actually one thing in my talk which I mentioned yesterday about one of the companies who is doing that they are using AI and they can actually plug into audio calls and it can actually amplify, improve the sound without the other person even realizing that they have speech impairment.
I love it.
So that's
I
so
love
cool.
it.
Yeah.
I love it. It is.
And I love usually the creativity of people.
Yep.
For example, one good example that I always like to mention is that Japan, for example, has built a fire alarm which is not based on sound, but which is based on the smell of wasabi. And they actually tested it out with hearing impaired people. 16 out of 17 people woke up. One person didn't wake up, but that was because they had a stuffy nose.
I love it. This
So,
is great.
I love
Yeah,
that.
no, but smell is definitely something that will wake us up, right? And I know it. I sleep on the planes, and the way I wake up in the morning at the end of the flight is the smell of breakfast.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Smell definitely wakes you up.
Yeah, and innovation is probably I would say the biggest word I can say about accessibility. Innovation and empathy. Because we need to be empathetic, we need to not only follow the set of rules, but actually think about how they can improve something. Because something can be defined according to accessibility rules, but it's not so good.
I love it.
If we are innovative, we think about how we can do something better. If we even have creative ideas, I think we can achieve a lot. Because this with wasabi fire alarm, I think it won Nobel IG Prize award. So
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I love it. Empathy is innovation is the best path forward for better accessibility.
Yes,
Love it.
those are my two takeaways from this interview, if I would say. Empathy
Absolutely.
and innovation.
Empathy and innovation. Here you have it. Ante, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was really a pleasure. And you all stay tuned for more interviews at the Propulsion Lab at Devoxx UK.
Thank you. Bye.